Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 391. Let's take a peek at what shows up here. So, man, I feel like we've touched on all these here recently. I know let's just... Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 291. Let's take a peek at what shows up here. I assure you it will be something cool. Okay, Echo, Malphite, and Thresh. It's been quite a while since we've drafted Malphite, so I'll go ahead and jump in on this one. I know we've drafted various versions of the Sumpworkers deck here recently, so if you're looking for the Echo version or the Ezreal version, we've drafted both of those probably within the past couple weeks. And I won't draft Thresh. I don't like this card pool. He can be reasonable as a support champion, I guess, but as a build-around strategy, this is not good. And so that will put us over here with this Malphite. This pairs up with Talia and tries to be a landmarks-based deck. And so let's pull him up and we'll talk about it just a little bit more. We'll be over here on the site, ftpbus.com. We're just going to scroll down to the bottom of the main page, make our way down to Malphite in this little drop-down box, take a peek at Geomancy. And so, yeah, I mean, this is just a full Malphite build around. It's not that hard to pull off. Malphite flips are very easy, especially with the likes of Eye of Rahul. If you play the singular Eye, makes a copy of itself, that's 10 mana, and boom, you've got your Malphite flipped. I thought he took 12 to flip. I guess that got edited at some point. I think this is the newest version of him. Let me see real quick. We're linking to, yeah, this on the 212 patch. It's on the 213. Still says 10 mana. Okay, so it's 10 mana to flip. The Eye of Rahul will get you there. And so that's what this deck's trying to do. It doesn't necessarily have to focus too much on landmarks. That's of course what it wants to do. But if we are focusing on landmarks, I like to make it the good ones. And so I like to play things like Blue Sentinel, just a high quality unit that generates a landmark. Things like Rockfall Path is a landmark that kills an opponent's unit. The Eye of Rahul is not something we like to really stack up, but one of them is important. And of course, Star Tip Peak replaces itself. I'm trying to call these out as opposed to a lot of the landmarks in Shurima, which are things that come down and have the countdown, like all the Rock Bear landmarks we don't really like. And so I either want landmarks that come down and replace themselves, like the Rockfall Path or the one that draws a card out of Shurima, or we want it to be a unit that generates a landmark like Blue Sentinel or Rockhopper. We do not want the landmark or the countdown based ones. The other thing this deck can do is pretty good at just being an invoke deck with things like Mountain Scry or Lunari Priestess, and so that can be that is typically your late game strategy, and it can be just a full build around if you're able to spike a bunch of these Mountain Scryers. And so we'll see how this goes. Let's go ahead and jump in with this Malphite. Let's see if anything interesting shows up before we stack too heavily into this card pool. And okay, interesting. So the easy one to skip is Pike. We're never pairing Pike up with Targon. The Lurkers theme has to be done with Shurima. We aren't doing that whatsoever. We don't even like drafting the Bilgewater versions. We like drafting Shurima only as far as Lurkers are concerned. So we can skip that one. Done. Now, with these other packs, there is the Blood on the Ice Ash, which I could see being kind of interesting in the sense that if we don't have landmarks going, then even something like Malphite still works quite well with Noxcria Arena. Noxcria Arena is an expensive landmark that can really help level up our Malphite. I could see all of those themes going well. The Blood on the Ice, on the Ash side, it tries to do Yetis and Frostbites. The Frostbites work with the Arena, and then on the Noxus side, it's trying to do 5-attack matters. So I wanted to pull up this real quick on the Malphite side and see if there's any 5-attack units. You can get one with Earth Elemental, and then that's probably going to be it. Everything else is... Oh, Stonebreaker as well. Everything else is smaller. So that is a potential one. And then over here with Akshan, I'm trying to think, of course, Akshan is a fine build around on his own. There's not any strikes in Targon, so he won't get any usages that way. Trying to think if we could get usages out of the Vacarum Bruiser and such. The thing that runs out with Akshan, though, is I really like him paired into Noxus, so you can just kind of incidentally pick up Reforges. I don't think we can do that here, but the kind of secondary thing we could do would be like, say, we have this combo of Chip at the 1-drops, and then we have Akshan we have blue buff, and then we have Rockhopper at 2. All of them playing extremely well with Pike or with Chip and with Action, right? If we can get quick attack challenges in the early game, it's a nice way to really just kind of plow through and get things going. That in that sense, we could look at Zenith Blades as a way to target our own units. I think maybe we could make something work with this. I think it seems more interesting trying to play this Relic Trackers with Action, maybe doing like 2 Malphites, 2 Actions, as opposed to just going after Yetis with Ash. So let's move our way down here to Action and see if we can't pick up some useful cards in that sense. So real quick, I do want to see, what's her name, Talia and Geomancy. Since we're going to be seeing a lot of Geomancy packs, I want to see if there's any useful cards in Shurima for this strategy. Looks like there's Clockwork Curators, but we're not planning on playing too many countdown cards. Rockhopper is the big one that we're looking for with this strategy. And then Ancient Preparations is okay-ish. Ancient Preparations also lives with Action, so we might be finding ourselves with a lot of those. Otherwise, not too much I'm super interested in here. And all right, back to Action. Where you at, my man? And so yeah, the Ancient Preparations was our early game landmark. Otherwise, I was just kind of interested in the early game quick attack challenges, and so we can do it with the Ruin Runner from the other packs. Action. His only vulnerable is Ruthless Predator, which kind of sucks, but maybe we can find some exhausts or something. And then otherwise, I'm trying to see, we could maybe get like Grappling Hook Zenith Blade combos are going. Okay, I think I've kind of got this in my head a little bit. The two big things I think we'll be looking for here are the quick attack challenges. That will be kind of theme number 1. Theme number 2 is let's see what we can do with Zenith Blade. Maybe we can pick up 2 or 3 Zenith Blades. That should work well with targets for Action, giving it even, if lets a lot of these big units like Bruisers and the 5/3, whatever you're called, the Profiteer. I could see Zenith Blade working well with these. And then as far as our late game is concerned, I think we want to have like 2 Malphites, some number of Zenith Blades, and then focus on Overwhelms after that. So we're going to be looking towards like Ruin Runners as our kind of late game unit of choice. I kind of like have this in my head. I haven't drafted this before, but I think we can do all of this and make it work. So let's take the Action. And this is a good start here with the blue buff and the Rockfall Path. Both of these are top-notch early game plays. And so, yeah, we want to ignore the Noxus. Grappling Hook. I don't think I'm interested in Grappling Hooks until we pick up Zenith Blades. So that feels good in that sense. Okay, here this is a pretty easy take with the Safecracker and the Marauder. We don't want anything to do with Stellacorns. We're not going to play Noxus. So let's pick up the Safecracker pack. Good. Another high quality landmark based pack. The blue buff with the Preservarium. Again, we don't want to be playing Rock Bear kind of cards. We want to be playing either units that generate landmarks or landmarks that replace themselves. Okay, so some of these packs have to suck, right? You got to see a bad one every once in a while. And so as far as these are concerned, I'm just going to take the one that has Shifting Sands in it. This is a very low-tier removal spell, but it's better than having no removal spells, right? We have the one Siphoning Strike as it is. We haven't seen any vulnerable cards up to this point, and so I'd much rather just take Shifting Sands than Dunekeeper, and I never want to be taking this Dragon's Clutch. So we're stuck with the bad removal. I guess we have Rockfall Paths, though, right? Yeah, that's a way to make up for it. But here, this is an actual perfect pack for us, having the Rockhopper for our early game vulnerables and then the Ruin Runner for our late game. Very happy to pick those up. Okay, and then here's a big pile of the landmarks that we don't want. I was kind of thinking, hey, we can use Spiral Stairs with Action as kind of a targetable thing, but no, we would rather have Zenith Blades for this. So here I'm just going to take the Mentor of the Stones. It's just a high quality unit. If we're going to be trying to use Action and doing the targets for the Warlord's Palace, then generating 3 gems can work out quite nicely as well. So that feels like a nice take. Okay, cool. And another Ruin Runner along with a vulnerable card. Feels quite good. Again, we'll skip the Rock Bears, and then we don't have any real usage for Emperor's Diaz. Okay, so we're gonna have to stop and take a think on this one. So I don't think we want the Inspired Marshal. We're not going to take advantage of this +2 attack. That's kind of a tokens theme. There are the two drops over here on the left. The Sunhawk good, Tayari is bad, but I think we want to pick up the Priestess with the Ground Slam, just as another way to have a bit of interaction here. Okay, which one's Unraveled Earth? The Roiling Sands one. I get the Unraveled Earth confused with the one that does the drain. So this is not super interesting. The one with the drain. Here we go. It's in the next pack right over. That's not what we're really trying to do, though. I'm kind of interested in the Star Shaping Starship Peak, but our late game is coming together kind of nicely between the one Malphite and the two Ruin Runners, but I think this is okay. The Unraveled Earth is nice in that it gives us these additional paths to vulnerables, though. So let's just take the interactive package. I think that's where we're really going to be struggling at the end of the day. Here's an easy one with the chip and a blue buff. Go ahead and snatch that right up. Okay. So here, I think we're okay to kind of stop with these. I would like to have another Rock Hopper, but I don't really want Bloodthirsty Marauders. I'm going to come over here and pick up the mid game and the late game plays in the Earth Elemental and the Star Shaping. I was kind of wanting a Star Shaping anyways, but we do have this mid game that we have to deal with a little bit. Oh man, Exhaust is the premier vulnerable, but is that what we want to take? We could maybe get to trade away an Unraveled Earth at some point. Because I don't want Sandcrafters. I'm okay to pick up Star Shapings, but I feel like we're good with these kind of mid-tier replaceable landmarks. This is kind of like filler. So we'll take the Exhaust pack. And oh, interesting. It's tough to pass on Sunbursts, but I think we might be okay. I mean, we have the Siphoning Strike and a Ground Slam along with a bunch of vulnerables. This is going to hurt not taking this, but I'm really interested in picking up the Eye as kind of our game closer here. And so, welcome to the squad. All right. We got to go. Got to turn something premium. Feeling pretty good about this. Let's see what we got here. Show Unowned, Sharma, Targon. What we got? We don't have any of these cards. All right. Let's take a peek at the spells. We got any of these? Time has come. No, we do not have you. All right, let's try the landmarks. Nope. Yeah. Pocketbook's gonna take a hit today. What do we got here in the rare land? Got any good rare units available? Oh man, I was looking for the priestesses. Do we got the Daybreak Priestess for the generated cards? Not quite. We do have a Vacaran Bruiser. That could be an interesting one. He generates some cards while he's at it. God, we don't even own one of these. The double dose of having to spend the monies. Dropping the wild card and the 200 coins. This new set can't get here soon enough. All right, welcome to the squad, my man. Let's get this going. Okay, so yeah, I think the themes came together interestingly here. I think I'm happy with how this has come together. I think we have to explore what can we do with Akshan that isn't just pairing it with Riven. And I think this is a good start. We didn't see any Zenith Blades, which was a bit unfortunate, but I think I'm on board with this idea of being okay, what's Akshan good at? It's those quick attack challenges, and that is something that the Malphite deck is good at, but it's looking at it in the sense of Chip and Ruin Runner as opposed to playing the Sharma vulnerable cards. And so, but, if we come in and kind of combine those two strategies, we should still be able to get a pretty good early game going. So yeah, I like it. I like how that meshed out. And then what was this? Twisted Fate and Zoe? Okay. We'll try and get the units down. If they don't have... we can't just slam into this thing. I was if they don't have any plays, then we can still get in for 3. And it's kind of awkward just slamming down Rockfall paths. And so let's see what he does here. People typically don't want to be trading with a... Blue Sentinel. So I don't suspect that he's going to attack here, but maybe. Then are we okay to just trade out our board for his board here? It kind of sucks, but if he's going to play on curve, then this Rockfall path has some potential. Maybe, I think the downside to that though, let's just do these two, is he can like just pass. And I don't want to just have this thing go away for nothing. Let's see what they do here. Okay, thanks, fine. Sparklefly is fairly ignorable. I think we're just going to have to star shaping so that we can spend off our mana. I'm going to go for the big game or for the Immortal Fire. Twisted Fate Zoe. I think we probably have to be realistic and assume this game won't go to turn 10. But the way I kind of... Why would you do that post-combat? The way I kind of see this going now is we're just going to play the Eye this turn. Then we can just curve right into Malphite and the Immortal Fire. So go ahead and get this down. Malphite, he's ready to do that flipping thing. I just get that concession instantly. That made me giggle. I don't know if you noticed what was happening here, but it felt pretty good. Right. Let's see. At the end of the day, I do intend on having 2 actions, 2 Malphites. I think our early game is good enough to where we don't really have to stack action, but I mean, it's kind of interesting, though, that, you know, he's generating landmarks for Malphite as well. But this is a pretty good set of action cards where these Malphite cards are garbage. And so I could even see a world where we do actually build towards 3 actions here. But the intent is to do 2 Malphites. I don't think we need to stack those up. What's the Warlord's Palace thing? These are 1-cost landmarks, right? See, we'll see once this comes up. Maybe my cursor keeps hiding from me. But Mentor of the Stones is a strong enough to keep on 3. This is a pretty decent start. Here we go. Action. Warlord's Palace is a 1. Warlord's Horde is also a 1. Okay. So it's not like a super easy way to go and boost up a Malphite, but it's better than 0. Ikephelios Rek'Sai. Okay. I'm not real sure what we're getting ourselves into here. You just put Rek'Sai on top? Nope. It was weird. Made some like weird looking flashies on the screen. I wasn't sure if that was Rek'Sai that just came down or not. Okay, and then I don't really want to just throw away the Mentor into this unit. So we might be able to get a good Vicuran Safecracker a couple turns from now. I don't think we're in a big hurry. Well, we can shut down their attacks here now. Let's give you a 2, give you a neg. Okay. Ooh, the Rek'Sai on top. So all of our units will die here, right? But where does that get us mana-wise next turn? We'll go up to 7? Let's be real, we just have to block all this stuff, though. Okay. Does he ever pass it to us to be cute? It's like I'm more than content to not attack into this board. I'd like to get a big siphoning strike if we can. Where are we at mana-wise next turn? 6? So if we don't play anything, we still can't siphoning strike or get the eyes going. Okay. We really have 2 eyes? I mean, apparently we have 2 eyes. I thought we only had 1. Okay. Things are starting to come together now, though. We just got to block all this stuff and get some time. Thinking about it real hard. It's like you got a siphoning strike. That would be a little unfortunate. Okay. Miss out on the lucky find. That's a little unfortunate, but I was wanting to be able to both Ruin Runner and Siphoning Strike this turn. I think the Siphoning Strike coming off of a spell shielded unit is a little bit more important than being able to Siphoning Strike for that bonus card. This has the potential for disaster if we strike this thing and have it die, but this is like such an... Or if it has like a combat trick, it's such an important unit for us to kill, though. Beautiful. Perfection. Perfection. Then I don't want to attack with the Ruin Runner. He has a Rek'Sai in hand, and I'd rather have this on board as a potential Rek'Sai killer. Okay. This is all fine. All good and well. Here's another Rek'Sai killer. This is a safer way to do it, right? Just in the event that they have a way to get bonus attack. Right, there's the stall that we hopefully needed. He's not going to want to play units since it's just going to get stunned. We can get the Mentor going. I don't like it. I think I want to add it to the board. Oh, interesting. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's get a unit on board just in case. I like this. Turns out we can block this, right? got this 3-attack unit. He snapped that one off. Hope it's not a pike. Oh boy. Is he deep? Nope. Okay. Still just got a shitload of 5/5s, that's for certain. Oh, he's got the Rek'Sai. What's this? He's up to +5. We have to do this or we die. I guess we could technically Star Shaping out of this, but take 10 here. Rek'Sai's is only card in hand, I believe. Yeah. We can block her with the Mentor, though. Oh, no, we're just dead. Okay. Give me the little circle. There we go. Push the escape button. That was... It is what it is. We could have beat any of the treasures except generate 15 power of units. We were so close to turning the corner in that one. But, I don't know. We didn't have our early game package, though, which was kind of awkward in the sense. At any rate, moving forward, this is an upgrade with the Marauder for the Sentinel, but I think this is like probably a bigger upgrade, getting rid of the Sandcrafter for the Safecracker, just giving us some really powerful combats. I think that's pretty good. Right. A little bit too much. We needed to be able to like win one of those combats, I think. Like, if we could have had a single combat in there where we could put a unit in front of another one and survive, then I think we would have been okay. But they were able to get ahead of us on cards between Call the Packing for +1, and then, of course, the Plate Worm. the Plate Worm is always a little bit too much to deal with, but it is what it is. Okay, Darius and Hecarim. They don't seem like the friendliest of combos. Not sure what combos exist between these two. Ew, this start sucks. Get in there, blue buff. Thorn of the Rose. Okay, well, I just want to get on board. We're going to get nugged for 5 this turn, I guess, but... Ooh, maybe not. I'm going to say it's not the end of the world to have that happen. Okay, I assume he's not going to want to take either of these blocks. Kind of sucks for us to have an empty board, but... Interesting. Okay, so we'll take a 5 hit from this, but I think that's pretty manageable. Here's the biggest of boys. Okay. It has to be good, right? If he had a had one of the ways to take Malphite down, like with the, I guess I should say one of the Shurima style ways, not Shurima styles, one of the Scorched Earth or Nox and Guillotines or something, he probably would have just hooked him. But he can still get popped by a Vengeance, but I think this is good. Not going to Unstoppable Force this. I think I'm okay to just kill this unit given the chance. Good. I don't want to lead off with Siphoning Strike. Gotta find something to get on board with. That's not it. This is technically lethal, but we get beat by Vengeance so hard. If he had a Vengeance, he would have played it by now, right? That has to be the case. So we banked up our Unstoppable Force mana. Let's see if we find another unit or anything. Did. Let's do this. Let's lead with the Unraveled Earth. So then if they do play more units, we can at least get a hook so we can still get in with Malphite. Now we have the mana to Unstoppable Force and Shapestone. I should have noticed that the Glory Seeker was not a blocker as well. Okay, a little sloppy, but we got there. We had a mountain of stuff to do. Literally right with Malphite. Cool. It keeps trying to get us to get rid of this Bloodthirsty Marauder. I think I'm finally okay with this. It's a pretty low value unit. Cool. Move it on. Uh-oh. Water. That is kind of interesting as well. I didn't even piece together the combo until I just started thinking. But it's like we can play chip on turn 1 and action on turn 2, uh, and then have the chip boosted. It's pretty sick. Wow, I wonder if they started out with Karma Thresh and then landed on Zed later. This is getting annoying too. My cursor keeps disappearing. Get it together, Riot. Small indie company or what have you. Okay. Glad to see that go ahead and come down. Get the safe block in here, right? Might as well just go ahead and do it. Because we can still rock hopper, then they have to make the decision as to whether or not they want to try and contest this board with a unit. Okay. I'm just going to keep passing. Okay. Hopefully that's enough of a shutdown for Zed. Perfect, perfect. I want to try and take care of this with Ruin Runner. If they have, a Vengeance or some kind of targeted removal while we try to take down Zed, it's just such a huge problem. And so having the Ruin Runner as the means to take him down makes me feel nice and safe. Now fights up to 2 landmarks. Uh-oh. No double removal to get out of this, right? Can't think of any. Unspeakable Horror plus Homecoming. Okay. I mean, the big thing with this is we're, reasonably ahead on board, and he's not going to have any way to make himself back around it. So what this looks to me now is we could just lead with the eye, and then we can look to just play Malphite next turn. Is that how we want to go about it? I like it less. He's trying to be clever with the Z or something here. I'm not sure, but this is going to be a Soul Gorger. Not what I was expecting. Okay. Well, back to this plan. If he tries to get ultra clever, we can just lethal him here as well. Okay, we're not going to be lethal, so never going to prevent enough damage from the Soul Gorger. I think this attack is fine. Doesn't really matter where this block lands this turn. Okay. All right, let's get the squad going now. Feeling pretty good about this. He has to add stuff to the board, and it's just going to get hit with the eye. We're going to have this Malphite for next turn. I think things are done. I'm rock solid. Get him, Malphite. Okay, I mean we're repping lethal without Malphite, so that was good. This should be tough for him to deal with. I'm gonna say Grasp of the Undying would be a way out of it. We're mana short of doing like a star shaping play, but where's this take him to 3? Oh, we can just kill him with Shapestone. I'm gonna say between looking at the cards between like Shapestone and Ruthless Predator, I figured we'd have enough to do it. And we did. Nice work, team. Yeah, I gotta restart the game after this. I gotta get another water anyways. So let's see what shows up. I mean, this is I want to build to this Malphite, but these cards are just not showing up. I don't want the Hourglass or the Preservarium. I mean, I guess the Hourglass is okay. It's kind of a preventative spell. I don't really want the Clock Hand either. Siphoning Strike is fine, but a little unnecessary. We already have one. Okay, let's take the Malphite. So those should be fine and cheap enough. Okay. Maybe this will get us some more chips. I want to pull this off in one game where we play chip on 1 and action on 2, and then see where it gets us. Okay. So close. Oh, I forgot to restart the game. I got my water, but I forgot to restart the game. Brutal. A bad start though. They ever just get us with anything? How much do we care if they play like the Dragon Challenger or something? I think I'm okay if action falls. We're not like a super action build around here anyways. Cool eye patch. Nice work, action. So I say we go ahead and go for this. If he's got a prismatic barrier, I'm more than okay with that outcome. And then let's try and take her down with the Vagabond. If he has like a Radiant Strike for a +1/+1, I don't really want to lose our action here. Okay. That's fine. Takes a bunch of mana. They can't add anything else to the board. It's kind of one of their premier tricks. It's hard to tell how much of a Fiora build around they'll actually be because she doesn't like being paired with Noxus. But I'm ready to see what happens here. I think the Lucky Find should force him to an attack now. Looks like he's probably got a barrier. Oh, that makes sense. So Fiora doesn't die in combat. Okay. These aren't Challenger. I did the mathematics on this, and none of these are Challenger. So let's just do we want to give him the bonus attack or protect him from Fiora? Kind of like the spell shield. Can we get the Palace to flip though next turn? It should just be flipping now, right? This target will take it to 2. That's gonna be 1 short. Let's still just go spell shield. That feels like the safer one. So it'll flip on the action strike, and so it won't be pre-combat, it'll be post-combat. Let's go for it. I mean, if it makes him burn a barrier, this is still a pretty big turn for us. Right, spending 5 mana for like a riposte. Oh no. Ooh, that's a moderate disaster. I wasn't expecting a strike to come out of their hand. Concerted strike was a little off what I was expecting. Yeah, so many. That was her second. Okay. That's the hook, right? Do we have to find another target, but then we could potentially grappling hook Fiora. Our second target could be the Vacuran Bruiser. Okay. I mean, our other option would have been to just take the Invoke and hope that we're able to try and invoke down Fiora. It's a little sketch. Yeah, we got the option again though if we want to take it. Let's keep passing. If at the end of the day he just sends it back to us, I think that's probably a win. We can take like 5, 6, 7, not a big deal. We take 9 because he hooks with Bird, it's also not a big deal. Okay. Do we want to bank? Next turn we're going to have 10 mana. Malphite's not flipping, we have to spend 6 on Comet. Okay. It's the downsides, we don't have an attack with action here. We have this ground slam. Do we want to switch to anything else? I think we could probably switch to just playing the white flame. That's so dangerous. Let's just get this one out of the way. We've got time for cool stuff now. Okay. Does this thing target? Pretty sure this targets. So if we add the Bruiser, where does that get us? 3 and a 2, so we need to add a 4 if we want to be able to both Ground Slam and Ancient Hourglass. Alright, let's start with that. I didn't stop to consider that with the Hourglass we could just add a second action to the board. Is that how we ever want to go about this? I mean, the 3/3s does not that super exciting here. I think we'll let that go. I mean, realistically, we need to be getting Malphite going. Can't give everything vulnerable. Deploy the biggest of boys. Grant all enemies vulnerable, create a 0-cost copy of the strongest ally. Okay. Who do we even buff now? So many options on this board. The way I kind of see this going is I want to hook Shyvana first. It looks like with this board, ideally we'd hook her with the White Flame. Then, I mean, is this the biggest one to target? We want to hit Fiora with Akshan. We want to hit Kadrijan with Malphite. This is a free one down here with the Profiteer into Dragon Guard. I think I just want to be all in on Malphite at this point. And depending on how wrong things go, we do still have. Oh, that's one short on this stupid thing. I'm gonna say depending on how wrong things go, let's deal with the rest of this. You can have his Fiora. We can still like ground slam this turn. Okay. So we gotta have something. I think as something would just be like a barrier though. Don't really worry about losing this little dragon. Oh my gosh, we didn't... What is this? What is this action hook? The action was supposed to hook Fiora. Fuck me. I think this is okay. That's certainly not what we wanted to have happen. Shit, I messed that up. How did this get so messed up down here on the right? We were supposed to hook Fiora with Akshan. We were supposed to hook the 2/4 with the Profiteer. I blame that on you all. You all did something to mess all this up. This isn't on me. This is on you. Oh, such slop.
I don't need rules to know good from bad.
Okay. Hopefully we haven't just bombed this one. Hopefully, right? And Jarvan? Oh man, I feel like we've bombed this one. Wow. And is Jarvan's gonna flip off of this? Oh boy. Oh boy. We just have to flip this Malphite at this point. I think that's our only way to win this game. I mean, he's even gonna have Cataclysm flips with the... He's got the single combat and the Cataclysms. Oh, this is bad. That was abysmal, messing up that attack last turn. Oh, so bad. I mean, our saving grace here might be that all of this stuff still has vulnerable attached to it. We can add this. We can add the blue sentinel. He can't strafing strike the sentinel unless he wants us to lose. Oh, okay. Okay. We can play our whole hand, right? So how's this going to go? He's going to Cataclysm something. He can Cataclysm our Ruin Runner, and that's okay, but his Jarvan gets a barrier at the end of the day if he does that. I mean, I think we need to come in with these. Okay. Yep. Okay. Got the Cataclysm. Doesn't target Malphite though. Okay. Alright, let's see where this gets us. Picking up the ground slam could be huge. And there's the flip. If we can get that far. Do we have to wait on this combat to start, right? I want to put the barrier damage onto Jarvan, but I think the Cataclysm still happens if he's stunned. Let's get him down. He still could do quite a bit here, but that's the start. Now he has to attack immediately, or we'll hit him with the Malphite card. Unstoppable Force. Oh, no, we don't get it. We don't get it till next turn. I think this is still okay. Well, let's be real. This is far from okay. All right, Great Beyond. You're gonna be our path to victory. We give you +2 attack. that's what we're looking for here. All right, let's see what we can draw. Get ourselves out of this one. Do we have any? We got to hit Shape Stone. That's our way to do it. We could also look to do it with Ruin Runner to a degree. Oh my god, you have another combat trick? No way. No way he has something. Oh, he just hit face? What? What the fuck was that? Did the spell... Oh, the spell shield countered the Cataclysm. I just assumed that our unit was going to be rolling out. Oh, F me. F me. Alright, well, our trial's not over, but... Alright. That was probably about the sloppiest game you're going to see for a while. But with this one, I'm happy enough to trade out the White Flame for the Priestess. The interactivity that this potentially gives us is there. So... Oh man, I wonder if we could have still won that game. I've had so many like weird interactions with the Cataclysm between. I know I've ran into it before where you stun a unit and the Cataclysm still happens, right? And if you watch it on the Oracle's Eye, I can't remember if it was even like a similar deck like this, but it most certainly happens as to where. You stun your opponent's unit before the Cataclysm, the stun unit still attacks you. And so I know for certain that that's a thing. Here, we can actually keep this entire hand. This would be better on the even attacks, so we could like Safecracker into the Mentor, but I think this is okay. I have not seen that before where you I mean, it makes sense when you Cataclysm and have it get spell shielded. But that was odd. That wasn't quite what I was expecting to have happen. But maybe we could have won that one if we'd gotten the block in there to get a takedown on the what's he called? Oh, just to stop the Jarvan, and then we could predicted twice and drawn 2 to try and find our damage source. So that was potentially winnable, even though we like punted that one at literally every stage of the game. This, I think that's okay. I mean, is it? We get so much stats if we do it this way, though. Like, if now he takes the 2 damage and has to actually come in and block this thing. But yeah, I think that previous one, that was probably one that we could have won. That was some real wood tier play that we were putting together there.
With a little time, I'll have a breakthrough.
Okay, so do we want to just move forward with the Earth Elemental? I mean, I could see an argument for just playing like Star Tip Peak and banking 2, but I think we're strong to just stay on curve. Okay. Block. Like, that seems fantastic for us. Like, you can get a hook on our Earth Elemental if you want, but... Okay, so how do we take this one? I think we're going to just play Ruin Runner. Again, I'm happy enough just to trade Ruin Runner for this Viper Worm. Have a second single combat. Take down our Earth Elemental for the doubles. Okay. Not that bad. We just let this go for a turn. We can take a 5 and not worry about it too much.
From old Zook, best kept secret in Shurima.
Not a really super strong set of choices. We have enough mana for everything next turn, so I think this is okay. I was really looking for Challenger on the Profiteer so that we could come in and try and pick on these smaller units and then get the eye going onto things like Envolus Vox. That's too greedy, right? Let's just play the eye. We have Malphite going. We can stun a bunch of stuff next turn. We have the Ancient Hourglass to protect our units. I think we just need time here. This just gets stunned. Envolus Vox gets stunned. Okay, okay. I think we're good. And Garen. So I mean, he had the hook. I saw that and thought think if I should have actually just gemmed the Blue Sentinel to protect it from a Dragon Guard Lieutenant. I think we can do it now, but we're never dropping below 2. We have to keep this Ancient Hourglass mana up for our Malphite. So he shouldn't be able to block with any of this stuff. I don't think any of these particularly matter, but let's just go ahead and drop the stats on his biggest unit. So if he has single combat type cards here, we can just deal with it. So ideally, he plays one unit. Oh, Erika. Erika is annoying, but we can still beat Erika if we let this happen. Right? We can, if we say, well, hang on, we can still do this. We can exhaust into her. And then we can hit. Okay, that's exacties, right? 7 and 6. So Ancient Hourglass, our Malphite. Okay. Then we're gonna silence Arika. They can get out of this. This is not a guarantee here. But that's the lethal right there. Good deal. Phew. Okay. Wasn't expecting a Captain Arika to come out of here. It's like you can play any unit and we're fine with it. But having it be a unit that counts as 2 units was a problem. Almost as big of a problem as my cursor disappearing. And so, all right. Well, we got more chips. If we're wanting to do chip in action, we gotta pick up more chips. And then the Ruthless Predator is just our weakest trick, anyways. So happy enough to swap that out. All right. Restarted the game. Let's see if that's enough to keep my cursor on the screen. Life can be pretty hard sometimes. Okay. We're going to do it. We got the second chip now, so I think we can play chip on 1, action on 2, and be right off to the races. It's the same guy with the Gare and Shyvana. I don't remember. I think it is. I don't remember like the premiums we were running into, but there were certainly some some premiums happening with that previous game. I think it was this guy.
Good people don't look the other way.
Got a dragon? Nope. Cool. You can still challenge our action. I'm not expecting too much out of him. Now do we have to switch to opening? I don't like that either.
Find anything good in there?
Enough gold to build a whole new city.
Shyvana. This has some risk to it, but it's not the end of the world if our action goes down. If we get a prismatic barrier out of this, I'm kind of okay with it. Then if he doesn't block here, we have to assume that they just have no tricks whatsoever, right? Like, you would 100% throw your Shyvana onto this board if you had a trick.
Run from absolution.
Okay, so I'm thinking here, I want to give my units plus attack and then siphoning strike down this dragon. I can't imagine that they have a combat trick here, right? We're still on this line of thought to where it's impossible for our opponent to have a combat trick. It's just, oh my gosh, you do? It's just okay. Single combat is manageable. It was like that was just like such a juicy spot for a combat trick from opponent. I couldn't imagine that they had one there. Okay. Start playing eyes. What else are we doing here? Like the idea is we can daybreak out the eye and then try and kill them on our next turn. I think this is okay. This should be particularly good against this dude that doesn't have anything on the board. Seems like this might be a concerted strike, which we can deal with. So I think I'm okay with that. Doesn't have any good blocks here. Okay, and then if he adds a unit to the board, it's just going to get stunned next turn, so he's kind of incentivized to not play anything. It's good. So we're going to lose our action here. Nothing we can do about it. Let's go ahead and add Rockhopper. Yeah, so many landmarks on the board. We just want to add the second one of these. It'd be 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 would be a little bit short of lethal. Okay. Even really interested in that, in the +1 mana. This is okay. So there's the stun. And we get our open, and then we're really just building ourselves up to trying to kill them with a big elusive thing out of the star shaping. So that is our idea here. We're gonna just try and star shaping. We'll star shaping now. Then we'll try to play a big spell shielded unit on the next turn. Great Beyond. Did we do it? Was our plan good? There it is. I'm bringing it. We should be able to beat any number of like single combats and stuff as well with this infinite hourglass. We just go ahead and do this now though, right? I don't want this to risk this thing falling in combat. Now he doesn't have enough mana to deal with this. So he's got to have like 2 combat tricks in his hand now. Lots of noises. Get our unit in there. Oh, good game. Nice. Sorry if we just 2-0'd you, my man. I can't remember who that was. If that was the same guy from before, but okay. So what are we doing here? Okay to trade out an Eye of Raffle-Rock. I really only want 1 copy of it, and I think with the Naturalist we have a lot of good targets with this, and so we can maybe make this work. We have been running into these boards that just have too many landmarks like that last game. So not opposed to it. I don't really think we're ever like to a spot to where we want to just like pop the Warlord's chest, but I mean that's a big bit of tempo on the 4th turn if you have your Warlord's chest at like 5 ticks and then you eat it with the Desert Naturalist and then get an attack in with action to make another one. I mean, maybe. Maybe not, but maybe. Okay, and the Lurkers. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. Bust needs his lunch. I think we'll make it. We'll make it through this, but any misplays, old or new, we're due to my need to have some food. Okay, no one, nice. I think we want to start off with the Blue Sentinel. It interacts favorably with the most of the dudes they could be playing now. Like he can't play the 2-cost one now, right? This isn't the 2-cost one I meant. I meant the one that does the free attack, so we could try and get a level up on our turn. He could actually potentially run it into Rockhopper, which I'm trying to avoid. Now with the we can play the Rockhopper a little bit later and look to block a Fearsome here potentially. Oh. Then we'll have 5 mana next turn. Okay.
Would you look at this place?
Lots of options we can do here now. Do want to get the Mentor of the Stones going though.
Future, I see purple.
If we get like the free attack onto a Lurker here with the boost from the Mentor, it's so huge.
Look what good comes of mortal greed.
Floaty crystal.
I'm gonna go ahead and Unraveled Earth. Oh, he's out of unit mana. Okay, we can just stop him with this. I was gonna say I want to be able to vulnerable a unit he plays post combat, so I want to. I was gonna do the Roiling Sands in the middle of combat, but he only has spell mana, so we're safe in that sense. Big old mountain of stats we got going on here now. I think I want to play the Safecracker. We can get a shutdown on this thing. We can keep this from attacking. Well, I think that's okay. We can just take the damage from this attack, right? This is unfortunate if he has a second one. Maybe we should have waited till post-combat before we played our Ruin Runner, but... okay. I forgot that our Mentor had Vulnerable. Wait, do we ever have a world where we just want to pass? How far away is Malphite? Malphite's ready to flip because he doesn't want to play a unit here into our Roiling Sands. We want to get our Malphite on board. I think I like this. I like this. Let's just pass. Really limits what he's able to do next turn. Oh. Well, okay. If that's going to be the course of action.
Watch the spiders do their work.
Alright, maybe he'll tap out for a Lurker we can just Siphoning Strike down. Plate Worm. Oh my god, the fucking card. Okay. He's not deep, so it's manageable, but... So we get to block one. Rockfall Path will kill one. And then we should have an open kill. We can even beat a Pike here. Oh, this card, it's so annoying to play against that thing. It's so much stats that you can get out of it. Whew, okay, we did it. Alright, let's get ourselves into this final battle. So we never want Spiral Stairs, that's an easy skip. Spirit Fire could be okay. I think I'm kind of interested in Spirit Fire just because I don't want Star-Tipped Peak. So I think this is a good upgrade. It's also good if we're going to be running into a lot of action decks here in the final battle that plays quite well against all of those. So with these, I think I'm happy enough getting rid of Unraveled Earth. We might be moving like too far away from being able to flip our action though if we do. Right, this is a +4 to the landmark count and we only have the one eye. I think I'm going to hang on to this. I'm going to hang on to our star shaping just to make sure we have some late game that isn't Malphite. And I don't think we need the second Ancient Hourglass. So I'm going to skip these. Don't want Stone Weaving. I would be okay with Sunburst, but not for a cheap combat trick. And then we don't want a Rock Bear. That's an easy skip. Oh, the chip. that's our chance to get the chip. We got to get rid of our landmark, though. All right, worth it. And the last one. Don't think we can't get rid of all of our landmarks, right? We have to hang on to some of them. So we'll hang on to the Eye, the Preservarium. Sand Spinner for the Spirit Fire is kind of an interesting pickup, though. This is a lot cheaper, and it helps us with our quick attack challenge kind of plays. So I think that's a good and solid pickup. Ooh, okay. See what we can do. Chip action. We got 3 chips now, so we have to be able to do it, right? It's like I think we've drawn chip 1 game. That's been it. 1 chip. That's it. Sad. Hashtag sad. All right. As it stands, the way we handle this is if it gets up to about 1:50, I'll cancel it so that we don't just play the Poro bot, but then on the second go through, I'll just let the Poro bot happen. Y'all's time's valuable. We can't just be sitting here watching this countdown happen over and over again. Just waiting on the next bad play from Bust. Oh, I got excited. It was just the LOR Guardian thing going away. Gets me every time. Hope somebody steps in and replaces them. I mean, I get kind of the problem with Expedition. I don't want to say it's a problem with Expedition, but if you're going to make a monetary business investment in the Expedition format, it probably made sense when Expeditions were what gated you to getting champions. Like there was a time when you had to play Expeditions to get the champions as opposed to them being in the weekly chest. Then you could probably do it just because the entirety of the Runeterra community was forced to play Expedition. But now, it's just kind of being back to like a normal limited format. And then I think with like Hearthstone, something like 10% of the people played Expedition or played Arena. In Magic, it's kind of a different beast because it's tied to a lot of the competitive stuff and it's tied to a lot of collection building, which you just don't really get here. It seems like the number is 10 to 20. Even Magic, I think it's only something like 25% of the players that'll ever play limited formats. And so when you're cutting out that big chunk of the player base, I get why it's a struggle for LOR Guardian, but I'm hoping that somebody else comes in and picks up where they left off with the Expedition stuff. I know that there was like the Hearth Arena for Hearthstone, but then even the kind of support that people want this to be a competitive format. And if Riot doesn't think it's monetarily viable to support competitive Expedition, that's fine. But it is nice having kind of some of the leaderboard aspects, and so if Mobalytics or whoever would pick up a bit of the Expedition stuff and make their own leaderboard, I think that would be nice. I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent here. I'll give this one more trip through, and if we have to hit the Poro bot, we hit the Poro bot. But we'll wait till this gets to 145 and cancel. But yeah, I mean, I get where there's a lot of challenge in these games and in these trackers. I feel like Riot is probably in the long game as far as Runeterra is concerned. But I mean, Magic's been around for 20 years, and Hearthstone was the first to get into the digital card game space, and that's where the majority of the player base is. And so, there's not millions upon millions of people playing Runeterra, and so there is more financial incentive towards the Magics and towards the Hearthstones of the world. But it seems like it's growing. I mean, I don't have any numbers, but it does seem like the metrics are going up as far as growth is concerned. Oh, this is brutal. This is brutal. Our deck is just so well centered to, have these 1 and 2 and 3 drop plays, and we just shuffled a handful of four drops into a handful of full of 4 drops. So hopefully we get some good top decks here and recover. Action LeBlanc is going to be a highly aggressive deck that you cannot go into without a bunch of plays. Brutal. I mean, at least it's a thing to put on the board, but absolutely, this is like the actual worst draw that we could ever have. Ugh. Not like this game. Not like this. Okay. All right. And this would have been our opportunity for some Spirit Fires. The Spirit Fire would look pretty good here if we still had it in our deck, but it's not where we're at. I take a 7 hit. That's fine. We can like chip was the actual most important draw that we could have hit here. So this is a pretty good deal. See what he does. He can make a quick attack and then free attack with the quick attack unit, which is kind of painful. We don't have any answer to that, but maybe he won't know he can do that. Okay, so I mean we're gonna get bombed by this thing. We can technically like play chip and then hourglass him, but we'll see. See how we feel about that. This is playing an hourglass to prevent 4 damage. Okay, we'll save it. Now we have a real decision as to. I mean, we do have the Naturalist for the Warlord's Palace. I think that's where we want to take this, just to get all the units on the board. We can. I mean, his palace is pretty close to flipping. We can take his palace down. Maybe that's how we go about this. It's probably not gonna. He's gonna do some blocking here, but it's probably just gonna be like clockling in front of the Vagabond. Got it. We just have to protect our units here. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, he can get a new Warlord's Palace, right? Whenever I'm summoned or strike, summon it. So the next combat he gets action into, he'll get the palace back. But this should buy us quite a bit of time. I don't think we want to just drop the eye. I just need to throw the Ruin Runner in front of Tusk Raider. I think this is okay. Or, I mean, we could make it 4 attack and then make a chip 5. Try to throw a chip in front of it. Or we could make... I'm just trying to get, like, not blown out by a combat trick. This lets us play 2 units in the same turn, though.
These little scamps will burn you to the bone.
So we still have blockers for everything. So if we like end up trading our chip for a combat trick, I think that's okay. Like this is what probably the Absolver. That's fine. Let's make him spend the mana. Sharpened Resolve, sure. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Interesting. Do we just play the eye and get the 2 stuns, or do we go for the priestess? I think we need the priestess. I think we're in a good spot on this board now.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
I like it. At the end of the turn, we should just be banked up to 3.
Time to make an appeal.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, Salt Spire. Okay, cool. I think we're good now. Okay. So, need a 3 here. This block. I mean, the other thing we could look to be doing is just, we just need 1 blue sentinel to die. So this, hang on to our safecracker. LeBlanc flips, but that's post-combat. Take minimal damage. So what's his trick here, right? He's got to have some kind of trick. Probably not. Okay, I think this is fine. We want to see him just go all in, so that we can get out of it with the star shaping, but. Can't like flip the Warlord's Palace, so we are safe not putting a 3/3 or a 4/4 in front of action. He has to have a trick or action just goes. So this is where his trick is going to fall, right? He has to have one. Strike. That's it? Okay. All right. So, I think we need to be obliterating this LeBlanc, though. We can't have him generating mirror images. Don't want to play the eye just yet. This is going to come back. We have blockers for the Tusk Raider, though. Okay. Let's start with the Ruin Runner. Okay, I think we're starting to get there. We're starting. What do we, if we +2 attack the Ruin Runner and then Siphoning Strike the Tusk Raider? I think I'm on board with that. Or +1 attack from the Relic. So let's start with the do we want to start with the Bruiser? No, we want to get this eye going for 2 turns from now. So let's lead with the eye. Alright, I'm seeing it. Things are coming together. It's a big unit. +1. Siphoning Strike. Don't fail, please. This is so bad if this fails. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's making emotes and stuff. Okay, so that gets us the time we need for things. Whew, we're getting there. Now we're just done with this turn. Okay, flip your actions, fine.
You cannot run from absolution.
What up, bud? Did you come here for the end? Come on. Come on. Whoa. Why would he play the Charger? Is he going to play a Strike or something? What? Was that a misclick? I don't understand that. Just to prevent a block, or for a blocker? Okay. This is good. I'm more than happy to put our Ruin Runner in front of the Clock Hand. We get to add the Bruiser. Get to play Star Shaping. Maybe we'll find the Scourge or something. I think this is looking good. Might have gotten there. What? As we pause, what do we think about just getting 2 for 1 for this? I don't like it. If he has a combat trick, he would have had to just top decked it, right? There's no way he lets that siphoning strike happen. Is he just giving up? Is he just playing cards now? I don't get what's happening.
Bob just says what I'm thinking.
Okay. Probably just a Living Legends, right? Looking for a bigger celestial than the 7/7. Yeah. That was pretty good. Not gonna lie. F. That was a pretty strong pickup. Life would have been so much better if that was a if that was the 7/7 on the board. All right, bud, you gotta get your butt out of my face. So at the end of the day, what do we end up with here? We can still get the Great Beyond going. We can make him cost 8 and then drop the Preservarium. Or we can look to say just do double removal spell with the 10 mana. What do we think of Cosmic Rays? Obliterate enemies with 3 or less power, so we could hit Akshan and the Trifarian, but then we just don't have a board after that. I think we have to get a unit down. And if we're going to get a unit, I'm kind of leaning towards the Immortal Fire, since it can get in here and do some blocking. You do a 6 and a 4? No. Just have to get as much value out of this as we can. There are other choices to add. The Great Beyond. He's going to be able to pick up like additional units with the Sentinel's Horde, though. This was not a good Living Legends. Life would have been so much easier if we'd just taken the Destroyer. Right, we probably just lose if we play the Great Beyond. And I don't see it. It seems like the best of these choices. At the end of the day, we're going to get the Great Beyond and the Preservarium on the board because we have the Moonsilver. Oh, that Boomerang Blade was devastating. All right, I assume that's what's coming out of this. He's drawing 2, which would be kind of bad, or picking up his biggest unit, which would be like the Clock Hand. That has to be just going for the Clock Hand here. Yeah. Yeah, because this is a lethal between these other units. F. So we're going to have to like pick up a Ground Slam. Our copper's not it. Got anything else? We got any other plays in here that will get us out of this one? I think it's just Ground Slam. Brutal. That's not going to do it. We're just dead to the open. Maybe he doesn't take it. Alright, let's just double check this bust math worked. Yeah, we're dead. Damn. Too bad. This is a brutal exchange. I thought we were going to finally turn the corner in that one. We were just a little bit short. I mean, I can't imagine, like, you can't imagine your opponent's draw for the turn as Boomerang Blade. I think, like, just the opportunity for us to, if we pick up, if there had been uh, another invoke unit in there that just wasn't expensive, right? That we didn't hit, if there was like a zero cost or a one cost invoke unit in there, just anything up to like 2 or 3, we could, if we could have gotten 2 units on the board that turn, then we could have survived that game. But that was a bit of a low roll there at the end, I think. But I mean, that was quite the ridiculous game nonetheless, right? I'm pretty glad that they're pretty happy we were still in that one when you have a deck designed like this, a deck that's designed to, lead out the early game with chips, actions, blue sentinels, and rock hoppers, and then you don't draw any plays until the 4th turn. Like to be able to survive against a ultra aggressive deck like Relic Trackers and still be in it there at the end, it makes me pretty happy with this deck. There were some choices in there that we could have done a little bit differently, but there were a couple turns we could have done differently in there as well. But I'm happy that this got to where it did, and so I think this is kind of an interesting little deck. I think that's where you're going to have to find yourselves here in the future. Is if you're looking to draft Akshan and not with Riven, then what do you do? How do you go about it? Because there's kind of 2 things that I think are about to happen as far as expeditions are concerned. Number one, it's I think both the Akshan card pools and the Riven card pools are going to get bloated. Like whoever decided that there should be 4 Rivens in Expedition, I don't know if there's there's been some kind of like changing in the House at Riot here recently. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before as to where I'm not sure if that is a marketing decision trying to push pool party skins, or if that is a legitimate, this is how we feel Expedition should be. But I don't think it's going to survive long in the current state. I think Rivens are going to get bloated. If they're not going to push her out, then they're going to start just jamming more cards into these decks, and it's going to be tougher to get decks like this. And so, if the thing I'm trying to get to is if you can't assemble a good like Akshan Riven deck, or if you take Akshan as your second champion, like how else can you take advantage of this? Because he does so much, right? He generates the landmark. He tries to do quick attack challenges. Like he does a whole lot, and I think Chip is actually quite the interesting pairing to add with Akshan here. And so, I think that was a nice little thing that we were able to piece together and pick up on is just this cycle of Akshan Chip, and then this early game set of quick attack challenges and just big unit challenges between Akshan and Chip and Blue Sentinel getting the vulnerables with Rockhopper and Exhaust. It's just quite the premier early game package. And then as you could see in those games, topping off with Malphite is the real deal. He's still really good at what he does. I think we won every single game where we had a flipped Malphite on the board, which felt like it was about 4 or 5 of them. And so kind of speaks to himself with the quality of champion that Malphite is. Again, he's not one of these champions that I really like having 3 copies of, because drawing multiple copies tends to be pretty bad, but 2 was pretty good here, especially in a deck that was kind of lacking in its late game potential. And so yeah, interesting little trial. I thought that was a fun one, an interesting one. Too bad we didn't get to pull it off there at the end, but hopefully y'all enjoyed that one. I thought that was pretty cool. So that is gonna do it for us today. I don't think we have any rewards, and so we're gonna have to end it there. And so I hope you learned how to make new friends with Chip. Maybe learned a thing or 2 along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.